Rocky Hempel.
Here.
Robert Owens, absent. Tom Dials, absent. Jeff Spink.
Here.
And I'm here, Steve Rosenthal, so we have 7 members. Do I have approval of the minutes? We have 2 of them to do. Let's do the December minutes first.
So moved.
Second with the
Correction. Yep.
with the correction of me being here but not being here.
Oh, okay. You weren't here?
I was not, but in the minutes it said I was here and absent.
Oh, okay.
I was here, and I think it says I wasn't.
Oh, they got you 2 mixed up. Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor with a second to approve the minutes. Well, if you weren't here, how can you second? You don't know what went on.
Oh, I was not.
What?
Well, I can second, but I don't. Okay.
I guess. All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Is that okay?
She can abstain from the vote, but yes, I believe she can second the motion.
Okay, all right. Any discussion?
Yeah, probably just to strike oath of office for new members from there as well, because I think that was previous
Yes.
Yeah,
last meeting.
right. So had a few little typos. So, okay, those are 2 changes. Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote with the changes. Amy Baker.
Just abstain.
Abstain.
Mark Denny.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Rocky Hempel.
Yes.
And Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Actually, it's 5-1 abstain. Secretary's report.
Commissioner, did you also approve the work session minutes?
Oh, no, we didn't yet. Work session minutes. You had them today when we got in. I think they're very short, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Jaden. Do I have a second?
Second.
Amy? Motion on the floor and second to approve the minutes from the work sessions. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Amy Baker?
Yes.
Mark Denny?
Yes.
Alan Stork?
Yes.
Jaden Bailey?
Yes.
Rocky Hempel?
Yes.
Jeff Spink?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Okay, now Secretary's report. Sorry about that.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Chairman. We have one item on the consent agenda this evening, which we did send you an updated planning or packet for Gray's Corner with the added condition that the building be removed. Like I said in my email, that was a condition of the preliminary plat, so we just wanted to carry that over. Unless anyone has any concerns about that, we can keep that on the consent agenda. There's no reason to take it off, I don't believe. We have 2 items on the regular agenda and a BZA case. We will need everyone to stay for the BZA since we are short a few members this evening.
Okay.
That is all that I have, other than discussing a future work session to go over what we had last week. My inclination is February 2nd, if that works for you all.
It's a long time till February 2nd.
And you can email me and let me know if that'll work, and if it won't work, then we can.
Okay, why don't you email us and I'll remind us that you want to do it on the 2nd so we can respond.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Now we'll have a motion on the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
Jeff? Motion on the floor is second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Amy Baker?
Yes.
Mark Denny?
Yes.
Alan Stork?
Yes.
Jaden Bailey?
Yes.
Rocky Hempel?
Yes.
Jeff Spink?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Okay. Any decorations from anybody? Go on to case number 1. The Leavenworth County Commissioner will now consider DEV 21-191 special use permit for Conley Site Works. It's outlined in the posted agenda, requires a public hearing. Staff report.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this is case number DEV 21-191. This is for Stephen and Mary Conley. They're located at 12321 222nd Street. This is in the very southern portion of the county, south of Golden Road. Conley Site Works has been in operation for nearly 20 years, or more than 20 years at this point. It's the same location. We haven't had any complaints. Their operations have actually decreased as far as the amount of traffic coming to the site. They are actually, their employees are now reporting directly to job sites as opposed to coming to the business location. They've cut that down from 8 employees to 2 employees a day, so that's a pretty significant decrease. There is storage of materials on the property. That has not expanded any since the last time that this was approved. It was approved in 2016 for 5 years. The character of the neighborhood is rural, primary rural residences. This use is allowed with a special use permit. Surrounding areas, rural residential 5. Suitability of the property, again, is within an area suited for rural residences. It's approved with special use permit. The area will not likely be detrimentally affected as this business has been in operation at this location for a significant amount of time, and there have not been any complaints. Length of time the property has been zoned as vacant, it is not. Relative gain to economic development. The proposed use provides an income to the applicant, obviously sales tax, property taxes for the county. Conformance to the comprehensive plan. The future land use map indicates this area is rural residential. It is not a commercial use. Because of that, staff recommends denial of this. Staff does offer conditions in the event that the board wishes to approve this use. Mr. and Mrs. Conley are here and will answer any questions that you may have, as will I.
Can you put those conditions on the screen? Any questions of staff? Upon opening the public comment portion of this hearing, those of you who wish to speak either for or against this item upon recognition will give your name and address each time you begin to speak. This is necessary since the public hearing is being recorded. The public comment portion of this hearing is now open. Will the applicant please come forward?
Hello, my name is Steve Conley. I'm owner of Conley Site Work and Utilities. Been operating at 12321 222nd Street. We've been living there since '99. We moved in there. Location started special use permit a couple years after that. We moved in there. So, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to ask. But it's pretty much the things I've been doing.
There are 7 requirements on the screen there. Have you seen them all, and all of them okay with you, or
Yeah.
anything needs to be? Do you have any questions about or concerns?
Not that I think we're good.
Okay.
On our side.
Any questions of the applicant?
5 employees, is that you see yourself growing more than 5 employees in the next 10 years?
You know, I like a smaller shop myself. It's easier to manage, but I can't sit here and say, no, we will never grow. But right at this point, where we are is kind of where we're at.
And that's 5 reporting to the
Location. Yeah.
So there is no, okay.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant?
Have you had any contacts with the legal departments or anybody in Leavenworth County for any violations or any questions about your use of?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We will now hear from those individuals present wishing to speak in favor of this request. In favor? We'll now hear from individuals present wishing to speak in opposition to this request. In opposition. Is there any additional information to be presented?
No, sir.
The public comment portion of this hearing is now closed. Are any questions or comments, commissioners?
They've been there for a large number of years.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the proposed special use permit as outlined in case DV 21-191 be approved, that the findings on the golden factors as set forth in the staff report and adopted by Planning Commission and substantiated by the facts, testimony, and evidence presented be adopted by this board, and that conditions set forth in the staff report be made part of this special use permit.
Second.
Seconded. We have a motion on the floor with a second to approve case number DEV 21-191 special use permit for Connolly Site Works with staff recommendations 1 through 7. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, have a roll call vote. Amy Baker.
Yes.
Mark Denny.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Rocky Hempel.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. The Board of County Commissioners considers item on February 2nd, 2022 at 9 a.m. in the Leavenworth County Courthouse. Anyone wishing to attend the Board of County Commissioners meeting or to give public comment will need to contact the Board of County Commissioners office prior to the meeting date as space is limited. Kansas law allows for a petition protesting the decision of the Planning Commission to be filed. That petition must be filed within 14 days of the date of the hearing. Additional information on the filing of the protest petition can be obtained in the Office of Planning and Zoning. Good luck to you, sir. Case number 2, Leavenworth County Planning and Zoning will now consider case number DV 21-186, a rezoning from R2.5 to R1 zoning district as outlined in the posted agenda. Does require public hearing, public comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Staff report.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is case DEV 21-168. This is for the property that's located at 16630 Gilman Road for one Joseph Herring. I'm unsure who will represent this client tonight, but we'll probably get him on the phone here shortly. Anyway, this is a property, 3 parcels that are being, 2 parcels that are being rezoned from R5 to R1 43. This allows for to match the property to be developed at a level that would match the properties immediately adjacent to the south, as you can see on the aerial. This is High Crest West subdivision. The character of the neighborhood is mixed residential with suburban-style neighborhoods with 1 acre lots developed immediately to the south, rural residences to the west, north, and east, and then some agricultural uses, as you can see from the aerial. The surrounding properties are zoned RR5, including High Crest West, but it was developed at a higher density due to this sewer district being there. The uses consist of residential and agricultural uses. The High Crest West subdivision is located to the south across Gilman Road. The property is within an area that is suitable for residential development. The area will not likely be detrimentally affected by the proposed rezoning. The property is not vacant. There is a home on it currently. And then the proposed use will allow the development of multiple houses on the property. And then the future land use map does indicate this area as residential with 3 units to the acre. And staff recommendation is for the approval of this rezoning request. That's all I have. We will get the applicant on the phone here shortly and to answer any questions that you might have. and I'm ready to answer any questions you may have.
The subdivision across the street, it is on sewers, right?
Yes, it is. It is part
Are
of
they
sewer
going to
district.
hook to sewers?
They are not proposing to be developed, but that is something to be addressed at a later point. This is just the rezoning.
At the so when Highcrest West was developed, the county allowed sewer districts. The county no longer is interested in sewer districts. As you may recall, we did update the sanitary code along with the help of the state to allow for septic systems on 1 acre lots. So if this were to be developed at 1 acre, which we don't know that it will be anytime soon, but if it were under current policy, septic systems, engineered septic systems, would be permitted if they are viable in that location. A sewer district would not be required.
Okay, well, instead of rezoning it to 1 acre, why don't we rezone it to what's proposed in a comprehensive plan? It's more dense, but they can still make it 1 acre, and it's going to fit the rezoning that the county wants in the future.
So rezoning it to 3 units per acre would absolutely require the extension of sanitary sewer, and that is not currently in any conversations that I am aware of.
Well, again, all has to do with planning. So we'll continue on. Any questions to staff? Upon opening the public comment portion of this hearing, those of you who wish to speak either for or against this item upon recognition, we give your name and address each time you begin to speak. This is necessary since the public hearing is being recorded. The public comment portion of the hearing is now open. Will the applicant please talk? Not come forward.
Mr. Herring, I have you here at the Planning Commission. I'm getting ready to put you on speaker. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Joe Herring, 16630 Gilman Road. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Go ahead.
I got cut off on the meeting close to the end when you were talking about 3 units per acre. I do agree with the chairman that going that route would not be objected to as long as we can still stay on septic and do 1 acre tracts. I believe staff stated, the ability to match the properties on the south side of the road to, meet the comp plan. And basically it's for estate planning and to, for our children in the future when they're ready to either build here or sell the place. There are 2 additional driveways already installed on the property, one to the far west and one to the far east. Any development that I will propose in the future will not create any new driveways onto Gilman. And here to answer any questions.
Any questions of the applicant? Okay. We will now hear from those individuals present wishing to speak in favor of this request. Anyone here wishing to speak in favor? We will now hear from individuals present wishing to speak in opposition to this request. In opposition. Is there any additional information to be presented? The public comment portion of this hearing is now closed. Are there any questions or comments, commissioners? Well, if he's not opposed to that zoning, why would he be required to hook to sewers if he does 1 acre?
He's not required to hook into sanitary sewer. If it were rezoning to 3 units per acre, if it were to be developed at 3 units per acre, would require.
Well, yeah, if he would do that.
Right, which, again, that is not in discussion right now. There's no plans for sanitary sewer to be extended out that way. Certainly if Mr. Herring would have requested to rezone this to 3 units per acre, staff would have likely been supportive of that, knowing, again, that the ability to develop at that density is not likely unless Mr. Herring or some other developer was willing to extend sanitary sewer. But
Well,
that's
it
not
looks
the
like
request.
a lot of vacant ground around it that could.
But Mr. Herring didn't make that request. He requested 1 acre zoning.
Yeah, I know, I know, but I'm just looking for future.
Sure. If he
Future
would like to
planning,
withdraw his
future
application,
planning,
he certainly
that could end up being developed into a denser
Yeah,
and then it would fit in, otherwise it would be
Yes,
a
again,
different zoning for that, just one little tract there. If it gets rezoned to 3 units per acre.
so if the commission would like for Mr. Herring to withdraw his application and reapply, we can certainly do that. But again, we just have brought forward the request that Mr. Herring submitted.
All right, well, I'm just bringing it up, so it's. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Is Mr. Herring still on the phone?
Yeah, I just have the volume turned down. He's the next call as well. If you have any questions for him, I left him on here.
Okay. What are you guys' thoughts? If he doesn't mind.
Well, just to be clear on this, can we do this like we do an SUP, basically on the fly, or does he have to go through and redo the whole thing?
No, we would have to re-notify.
So, that'd be
Yeah.
Mr. Herring is if he wants to go through that.
I don't know how soon he wanted to
Right.
do anything. You want to put him on again, Stephanie?
Mr. Herring, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Have
we
you
have some
been
additional
listening?
questions.
Have you
Okay.
been listening? What's your thoughts on that? Would you rather go through with it today at the 1 acre, or would you have a problem delaying it and resubmitting it as 3 units per acre?
I would prefer to go with the 1 acre, just for the fact of it matches the neighbors. Trying to put a 3 units per acre zoning in an area that is a 1 acre developed area to the south, I would feel would create more discussion. The property does exist to the east or to the west of 2 ridges that the city of Lansing does not have any plans to bring sewer out to this area. So I do not feel that, this would ever be developed into 3 units per acre. And would just rather go with the 1 acre.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Should have left him on if you had any questions.
He's still in here.
Oh. I'll entertain a motion if nothing else.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the proposed rezone as outlined in case DEV 21-186 be approved, that the findings on the golden factors set forth in the staff report and adopted by the Planning Commission and substantiated by the facts, testimony, and evidence presented be adopted by this board, and that conditions set forth in the staff report be made part of this rezone.
Second.
Alan seconded. A motion on the floor with a second to approve case number DEV 21-186 rezoning request from R 2.5 to R1 zoning district. Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Amy Baker.
Yes.
Mark Denny.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Rocky Hempel.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. The Board of County Commissioners considers item no earlier than February 2nd, 2022 meeting. The commission agenda is posted on the Leavenworth County website and available for public viewing. Anyone wishing to attend the Board of County Commissioners or give public comment will need to contact the Board of County Commissioners office prior to the meeting date, as space is limited. Kansas law allows for a petition protesting decision of the Planning Commission to be filed that petitions must be filed within 14 days of the date of the hearing. Additional information on filing the protest petition can be obtained from the Planning and Zoning Office. It's approved 6-0. And the next, we have to adjourn out of public Planning Commission, and we're going to commence in the Board of Zoning Appeals. Have a roll call vote. Amy Baker, present. Mark Denny.
Yes, present.
Alan Stork.
Present.
Jaden Bailey.
Present.
Bucky Hempel.
Present.
Jeff Spink.
Present.
And I am present also. So I got 7 members present. Okay. The Leavenworth County Board of Zoning Appeals will now consider case number DEB 21204, a variance request. Article 14 is outlined in the posted agenda. It does require a public hearing. Public comment is listed to 3 minutes per person. Staff report.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. This is case number DEB 21-204. This is a request for a variance. The variance request is for the minimum roadway spacing. The current minimum roadway spacing for this area is 660 feet. Pardon me. Is 660 feet. As you can see, the existing driveway is just to the west of, I believe that's 172nd Street. It's about 275 feet. The applicant is requesting this variance because he wishes to develop this property into a subdivision. He wants to use the existing driveway as a roadway. According to our regulations, once a driveway is used as a private road, if it serves more than 2 lots, which this would, the proposal is for somewhere between 6 and 9 lots of our recall, it has to meet roadway spacing requirements. It's not just driveway spacing requirements, it's roadway spacing requirements and all other requirements. This does not meet that minimum spacing requirement, which is where the request arises from. The variance, again, requested arises from a condition which is unique. Again, he wants to use the driveway. The granting of the variance will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent property owners or residents. It's unlikely that it would impact them. The strict application of the provisions of the zoning regulations of which the variance is requested will constitute unnecessary hardship. The applicant would not be able to subdivide this property as he desires if this variance is not granted. The variance desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, or convenience, property, or general welfare. The requested variance will result in minimum intersection spacing not being maintained. Minimum spacing requirements have been adopted to promote safety on county roadways. The requested variance will result in the granting the variance desired will not be opposed to the general spirit and intent of the zoning regulations. It will allow for the development of a 28-acre parcel. In the event the variance is not granted, it is unlikely the parcel can be developed without acquiring additional property. The staff has no recommendation, as you all know. Those are the factors to be considered. If you have any questions, I will answer them, and the applicant is here and will answer them also.
Can you point where the driveways are and how many lots are going to be developed in that area?
We haven't seen anything final, Commissioner.
Okay. Well, proposed.
Yeah, so it's been talked about from anywhere from like 6 to 11 lots. I think I maybe said 6 to 9 earlier. It's a 28-acre parcel. The zoning is 2.5 acres out there, if I recall correctly. So maximizing the number of lots they can get on this parcel is, I believe, the intention.
The current zoning or the future land use? On the
Because your current zoning is
current
5
says
acres.
R5.
R5.
Okay, sorry. So, yes, 6 or 7 lots is the. Again, we've discussed this preliminarily, so I'm sorry that I don't have exact numbers for you.
And the entrance will be to the north and the south, parallel with the runway?
Again, preliminary discussions of that have been had. There has been nothing final submitted because they cannot move forward unless the variance is granted. But yes, some of the drawings that we have seen, the driveway would be used as a roadway. There is a airstrip that goes through there, as you can see. The lots would front along the driveway. with the airstrip.
On both sides, I gather.
That has been talked about, yes.
Right.
So it'd be a cross-access private road.
Yes.
So it would add no more driveways to the main road, to the entrance.
Wouldn't add any more driveways. However, that existing driveway will now be considered a roadway.
Right.
And it will not meet the roadway intersection, because 172nd Street there that you can see that is directly adjacent to this parcel. It's kind of covered up in blue, but right there where Josh's cursor is pointing, that is 172nd Street. So the driveway is to the west of there. It's about 275 feet to the west of there. That driveway would now become a road. The minimum intersection requirements of the county regulations is 660 feet.
Okay.
That is.
And it probably wouldn't be practical, but coming off 172nd Street with a road and then T.
Again, has been some discussion of that. The developer has determined that that's not feasible for one reason or another.
Wouldn't be as attractive, that's for sure.
No.
But
And the airstrip runs right there adjacent to the driveway. Is that
yeah,
I'm
the
doing correctly?
airstrip goes right down. You can kind of see it when they went in where the airstrip was.
And are they going to eliminate that? I'm guessing.
The airstrip?
Yeah.
Again, preliminary discussions, no. There is no intention to eliminate the airstrip.
Well, if there's houses there, I think they're going to eliminate the airstrip.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm like,
I think the
yeah, you can see the airstrip. I mean, it's pretty clear where that airstrip is.
Mr. New is here, and I believe that Mr. Herring may still be on the phone, and they can answer it. But the discussions we have had, no, they are not planning to get rid of the airstrip. This is part of the appeal, apparently, of this proposed subdivision, if this variance is granted.
fly home.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't get wild on your lawnmower.
Okay. Anything
That's
else
all right.
of staff while we're
I'd like to hear from the applicant now.
okay?
Get
All
a
right.
better understanding.
Well, let's get there. Upon opening the public comment portion of this hearing, those of you who wish to speak either for or against this item upon recognition, we give your name and address. Time to begin to speak. This is necessary since the public hearing is being recorded. The public comment portion of this hearing is now open. Will the applicant please come forward or speak or whatever?
Mr. Herring, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you just fine, thank you. And I do not vote, but for the record, Joe Herring, Herring Surveying, 315 North 5th Street. I do not believe Mr. New is there. He got called out of town. Unless it has changed. He might be in the audience, I don't know.
Someone's here.
Sorry, no, I thought I saw him earlier. Apparently not.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, all right, so the staff presented it quite well. The airstrip was built by the parents of Mr. New and does divide the property running north and south. The setbacks from 172nd Street really caused another hardship on there to not be able to get the houses on the east side of the airstrip. 100% of the roadway is taken off of the new property along the east side for 172nd. Hollingsworth is a gravel collector, very low volume, but the spacing does not meet for a collector. The intent, and this is all very preliminary, is to create a cross-access easement and the road going down the middle on the west side of the airstrip, and then all the houses being built on the west side on either 5-acre tracts that cut across the airstrip or go through a rezone process and create 5 to 6 tracts on the west side of the strip and creating a large tract A area with the airstrip like a common area and keeping all the driveways off of 172nd Street completely. This is the only way we can see possible for them to be able to divide the property. The only other way is to vacate the airstrip, but then all driveways would access onto the county road 172nd Street. And that is not their desire at this time.
So they do want to keep the airstrip then?
Yes, the airstrip, they want to keep the airstrip, and that is their desire, much like High Crest subdivision out here on the last case. They had the local airstrip. This would be on a much smaller scale with, 5 to 6 houses having access to that airstrip. And their desire is to have everybody have a hangar and also have an airplane and, live on the airstrip.
Okay.
I think staff went over the factors and here for any more questions.
Any other questions?
I got a question on Hollingsworth Road being classified as a collector. Should that be? Isn't that gravel now?
I did not get that question.
He was wondering why Hollingsworth Road, since it's gravel, is the collector road.
It's a section line road?
In conversation with staff, I don't know if that was for me or for staff there, but it was for future planning that it's an east-west road, and it was just designated as a collector. It just hasn't got to the point where it's warranted getting hard surfaced because the volume of traffic is so low.
Well, it's just hard surfaced or chip and sealed anyway, just to the east of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't think it's even probably a quarter of a mile east. It's hard surface, correct? Past
I don't know how far
171st
east
Street
it is.
I know it's
I know
always
east has a pretty steep hill.
Yeah. Any other questions?
And Joe, this one is just, I don't know, and hopefully you can tell me. FAA and all that, we meet all the requirements for that.
Yes, this is all the requirements for FAA for what they govern on such a small strip. It does meet the requirements, and it is under their regulations and control. So.
Okay.
Right. Any other questions? Okay, we'll continue. We'll now hear from individuals present wishing to speak in favor of this request. In favor of this request. Sir, are you here for this? Okay. We'll now hear from individual present to speak in opposition to this request. You want to come up?
My name's Larry Scheller, 17476 Donahue Road, Tonganoxie. I'm not in opposition to this. That runway's been there forever. And I stopped by planning, and they said tonight is just on the road. But right now, Rick takes the road down to his house, which is on the south end of that property, and it's been there forever.
Okay.
And the airstrip is to the east of that. And then Torx lives on down in the bottom. And if I understood, and I have a hard time hearing because everybody's voice is going this way, this is just on the road. If it's just one person, like Rick's been living there forever, why he's allowed to use that road that's in there. But if you're going to subdivide that and put, I've heard anywhere, the planning told me 5 or 6, and tonight I heard up to 11. And I'm assuming all the houses are going to be on the west side where the timber is now.
Correct.
But this is just on the road to
This is just the variance for the road footage between 172nd and the new road that will come in. And it's probably going to be across
A private roadway.
private roadway. Okay.
So there'll be a different road.
It'll be a new road that goes in. It will be a private road. It will be just for that subdivision.
Okay.
It's not going to be maintained by the county.
And it's coming in off of the Hollingsworth, or it's coming in off 172nd?
What they're requesting is to use that existing driveway. They want to turn that driveway into a roadway.
Okay.
So then it would be a private roadway, but it would service 5, 6, 7 lots.
And all the houses, and that will be next, will be on the west side
one of the
Correct.
concepts.
There
we
won't
have
be
seen.
any houses on the east side.
Because this
He
strip
went
will
out
be
there
there.
and put some reflectors off 172nd, like we're going to make a road there sometime, but that's about as far as it's went.
Yeah. It'll be just, it won't look probably a lot different than it does now
Other than all the
until
trees
they
will be-
start building houses.
Okay.
And then it'll look different because the road will be, instead of the driveway going in, it'll be a road going in. And everybody would have to go in and out that road that lives
That
on
road
that
to
street.
get to the proposed. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Scheller. Is there any additional information to be presented?
Yes, sir.
The public comment portion of this hearing is now closed. Are there any questions or comments, commissioners? And remember, we're the final word on this. This does not go to the commissioners. Our decision is final. And I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the proposed variance as outlined in case DEV 21-204 be approved, that the findings on the golden factors as set forth in the staff report as adopted by Planning Commission and substantiated by the facts, testimony, and evidence presented be adopted by this board, and that conditions set forth in the staff report be made part of this variance.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alan? Motion on the floor with a second to approve case number DEV 21-204 variance request. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote. Amy Baker.
Yes.
Mark Denny.
Yes.
Alan Stork.
Yes.
Jaden Bailey.
Yes.
Rocky Hempel.
Yes.
Jeff Spink.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Done deal. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. We're adjourned.